Welcome to another episode of our channel. In this video, we'll talk about the signing of an agreement that provides for the sale of up to 150 Gripen fighters to Ukraine. But how and when will the Ukrainians pay for and receive these fighters? On Wednesday, October 22nd, during Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's state visit to Sweden, he signed, along with Swedish Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson, a letter of intent formalizing Ukraine's possibility of receiving up to 150 Swedish Gripen E fighters. An announcement that took the world by surprise, as we're talking about new and modern fighters, specifically produced for Ukraine, and not old and near end-of-life fighters, like the French fighters and the F-16 fighters that the Allies are delivering to Ukraine. It will be the first time since the fall of the Soviet Union that Ukraine will receive truly new and custom-produced fighters. The Gripen E is a modern and improved version of the already successful Gripen C and D, and despite sharing many external similarities, the Gripen E is a much more modern fighter with far superior capabilities, such as, for example, an incredibly advanced AESA radar, capable of tracking aerial targets over 160 kilometers away. Its weapon system, compatible with NATO standards, has been fully updated and uses the GEF 414 high-performance, low-consumption engine. And with a very special feature, Super Cruise, which is the ability to fly above the speed of sound without afterburner thrust, which means it can fly at very high speed while consuming a low amount of fuel compared to other fighters in the same category. Sweden already has 60 units ordered, with the Brazilian Air Force already operating about 10, with another 26 in the queue. But why is the Gripen seen as so suitable for Ukraine? First, its ability to operate in austere conditions with very little infrastructure is a crucial point. The Gripen was developed under the so-called BAS-90 system created by the Swedes during the Cold War, under the premise that, in the event of war, its air bases would be attacked and destroyed in the first hours of conflict. And it was with this in mind that Saab developed fighters capable of operating on civilian roads with little or no infrastructure. Indeed, in tests conducted, a team of 8 people, equipped with tools and parts that fit in a medium truck and accompanied by a tanker truck, can inspect, rearm, and refuel a Gripen fighter on a civilian road in less than 15 minutes. This ability to operate anywhere would be invaluable for Ukraine, which had a significant part of its air bases attacked and destroyed by Russia at the war's start. And despite being a relatively small and compact fighter, just a bit bigger than an F-16, it's extremely robust and versatile. Being a true multi-role fighter, capable of performing all the tasks expected of a modern combat fighter, all these features, its incredible ability to operate in areas with very little infrastructure, simple and inexpensive maintenance and operation, and high technology, make it really ideal for Ukraine. But there are numerous challenges to overcome, with the first being the financial issue. How would Ukraine pay for 150 Gripen air fighters, each valued at more than $85 million? Even with strong international support, paying that much money would involve a financial effort seen as impossible to overcome, with some sources suggesting the money could come from Russia itself. More specifically, from more than 200 billion euros in frozen Russian assets held by European banks. But even though Europe is working to overcome legal obstacles to this, there is no prediction for the release of that money. Additionally, Gripen E production isn't instantaneous, and according to various sources, even if paid today, the first fighters would only start arriving in Ukraine within at least 2 or 3 years. Thus, it is a long-term partnership, likely aiming to rebuild the Ukrainian Air Force after the end of this war. Meanwhile, Ukraine may receive second-hand Gripen C and D fighters to begin training its crews. These older models are still highly capable, but will eventually need to be replaced by more modern units. Besides the Gripen, Sweden also committed to supplying Ukraine with 2 Saab 340 aircraft equipped with REI radar. vital for the important mission of early detecting Russian cruise missile and drone attacks, guiding air and ground teams to intercept them. Therefore, despite the Gripen announcement attracting more attention, the Saab 340 aircraft will arrive much sooner and play an important role in the current phase of the conflict. The impact of this partnership will be felt beyond Ukraine's borders, as by supplying the Gripen and supporting radar aircraft, Sweden is implementing a more autonomous defense policy, which may also have implications for other nations, currently, that are highly dependent on military supplies from the United States and NATO. Therefore, answering the video's title question, it is very unlikely that Ukraine will receive Gripen air fighters in the next 2 or 3 years. Considering unresolved issues involving the financing of this purchase and the production capacity of the Swedish factory, but nothing prevents them from receiving some Gripen fighters in C and D versions to speed up the training of pilots and ground personnel. In the meantime, it was certainly a surprising announcement that will have a significant impact in the future, but it will not affect the current phase of the conflict. Thus, it is seen more as a measure by Zelensky, aiming at the post-war phase and the reconstruction of the Ukrainian Air Force based on Swedish fighters. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any news. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any news.